Yamuna Jivana Kili Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora Namashuraras Go Krishna Yash Rako Vachanamana Mohora Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janaballabha Giridharidhari Gopi Janaballabha Giridharidhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanatari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaur Hari Bo Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayat Nustapraeshu Babadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5. Oh wait, I'm supposed to record it also. Just 1 minute. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17, The Descent of the River Ganges, text number 24. Yanirmitan karyapi karma parvanin Yanirmitam karyapi karma parvanim Mayam janoyam gunasarga mohita Mayam janoyam gunasarga mohita Naveda nistarana yoga manjasa Naveda nistarana yoga manjasa Tasmai namaste vilayodai atmane Tasmai namaste vilayodai atmane Yanimitam karyapi karma parvanim Mayam janoyam gunasarga mohita Naveda nistarana yoga manjasa Tasmai namaste vilayodayatmane Maharaji. Yat. By whom? Nirmitam. Created. Kari api. At any time. Karma parvanim. Which ties the knots of fruitive activity. Mayam. the illusory energy. Jana, a person. I am this. Gunasarga mohita, bewildered by the three modes of material nature. Na, not. Veda, knows. Nistarana yogam, the process of getting out of material entanglement. Anjasa, soon. Tasmai, unto him the Supreme. Nama, respectful obeisances. Te, unto you. Vilaya Udaya Atmane, in whom everything is annihilated and from whom everything is again manifested. Translation. The illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead binds all of us conditioned souls to this material world. Therefore, without being favored by him, persons like us cannot understand how to get out of that illusory energy. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who is the cause of creation and annihilation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Krishna clearly states in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapajante mayamitam tarantite. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. All conditioned souls working within the illusory energy of the Lord consider the body to be the real self, and thus they continuously wander throughout this universe, taking birth in different species of life and creating more and more problems. Sometimes they become disgusted with the problems and seek out a process by which they can get out of this entanglement. Unfortunately, such so-called research workers are unaware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his illusory energy, and thus all of them work only in darkness, never finding a way out. So-called scientists and advanced research scholars are ludicrously trying to find the cause of life. They take no notice of the fact that life is already being produced. What will be their credit if they find out the chemical composition of life? All their chemicals are nothing but different transformations of the five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2:20, the living entity is never created. Na jayate mriyate va kadachan. There are 5 gross material elements and 3 minor material elements: mind, intelligence, and ego. And there are eternal living entities. The living entity desires a certain type of body, and by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that body is created from material nature, which is nothing but a kind of machine handled by the Supreme Lord. The Lord gives the living entity a particular type of mechanical body, and the living entity must work with it according to the law of fruitive activities. Fruitive activities are described in this verse. Karma pamanim mayam. The living entity is seated on a machine, the body, and according to the order of the Supreme Lord, he operates the machine. This is the secret of transmigration of the soul from one body to another. The living entity thus becomes entangled in fruitive activities in this material world. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Manashastani indriyani prakriti stani karshati. The living entity is struggling very hard against the 6 senses, which include the mind. In all the activities of creation and annihilation, the living entity is entangled in fruitive activities which are executed by the illusory energy Maya. He is exactly like a computer handled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The so-called scientists say that nature acts independently, but they cannot explain what nature is. Nature is nothing but a machine operated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one understands the operator, his problems of life are solved. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7:19, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavam mam prapajyante Vasudev sarvamiti samahatma sadurlabhaha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. A sane man, therefore, surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus gets out of the clutches of the illusory energy Maya. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 5th canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Descent of the River Ganges. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitam. Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kaupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is Lord Shiva's concluding verse in his mantra, which he meditates on Lord Sankarshan. Right? This was what was being described in this section in the Bhagavatam, Lord Shiva's meditation. So he's describing his mantra, and he's meditating on the Lord in this way. So Srila Prabhupada explains how living entity is entangled. Lord Shiva said, most people, they never get out of the entanglement of the material nature. They're just taking birth again and again, different material bodies. Brahmanda Brahmite Konya Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. When they become fortunate, then they contact the devotees. And from the devotees, they get the Bhakti Lata Beach. I was with people in the Middle East there, and they were asking me, how is it some people become devotees and some people don't? They said, is it their karma? I said, no, it's not karma. It's not karma that we become devotees. You have to sit properly. Yeah, it's not karma. We don't become devotees because of karma, but it's by mercy. You get the mercy. The devotee comes, they give us that Bhakti Lata Beach. We need the mercy, right? We're always saying, give me the mercy. What is the mercy? The mercy is that engagement in devotional service. And because we're so forgetful of Krishna, we come into the material world and we become attached to every particular body we're in. We become attached to it. And we start to think, this body is very nice. I'm enjoying. I'm comfortable here. People go, live in these places, different parts of the world, and they're thinking, I'm comfortable. Just like we tell about Indra. Indra got cursed by Brihaspati to become a pig, and he's living in his pigsty, and he was actually happy. And when the Guru came back to tell him, okay, come back now, Indra said, what? I'm happy here. I'm not going to leave here. And I'm happy. I have my pig family. We get our pig food every day. Like this, Indra was thinking. This is the nature of the material world. Even we're in the most disgusting conditions of life, we become attached to it. And we identify it with it. And so it's very regrettable. We completely forget. What's the problem? Although we're struggling with material nature, Prabhupada quotes that verse from Bhagavad Gita, Prakrite Guna Karma. What was the verse again? No? How did it go again? Well, Mami Vamsa Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Manasastani Indriyani, Prakriti Stani Karshati. Manasastani Indriyani, Prakriti Stani Karshati. Karshati, struggle, right? We're struggling. It's not easy to survive. Country like this, it's so expensive. Everybody has to struggle to survive everything. And everywhere you go, it's the same problem. It's no different anywhere else. You think you go some other place, you won't struggle. No, everybody's struggling. It's the nature of the material world that we struggle in different conditions of life. But at the same time, we become attached. It's so bewildering. Although we're struggling so much with the material energy, we're so attached to it. Why are we struggling? because we're trying to exploit the material nature. Krishna says, Bumerapo nalo vayu kamano buddhirivacha. No, that's, I'm thinking, Apariyamitastvanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yeyidam daryate jagat. This is why we're struggling. All right. Besides this, Lord Krishna explained the material energy: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. These are my separated material energies. And then Krishna went on to explain. Beside this, there's another, the living entity, all living entities who are trying to exploit the resources of the material world. This is why we're struggling. We're trying to exploit the material energy. We're thinking this world is for my enjoyment. We've forgotten Krishna. So we have to bring everything back into focus. Put Krishna in the center. Then it's clear. Prabhupada writes about the Ishyavasya society. Krishna in the center. Right? When you put Krishna in the center, then you've got the right focus. Otherwise, it's all struggle, it's all conflicts, so many quarreling and arguing going on everywhere in the material world. Wars even going on for so many years, wars going on, people all fighting with each other. Nobody comes to any solution because they have not put the focus in the right place. Their focus is on the body. Their focus is on my nation, my property, my land. We're thinking in terms of mine. What's mine? This is mine. Right? This is the nature of material existence. I and mine. This, I am this body and this is mine. So this is the cause of all our troubles. But when we put Krishna in the center, then there's no problem. We have to just put things in focus, get things in focus. Just like sometimes the computer's not focused, you have to adjust the focus, or your camera is not focused, you have to adjust the focus. So you get things in focus. Put Krishna in the center, then everything becomes very clear. But people, they don't want to do that. They want to be in the center. I want to be in the center. This is the problem. We want to be the controller. We want to be the enjoyer. And that puts us in so many troubles. We get so many problems. So we're trying to revive our original consciousness. That by nature, we are all servants of Krishna. We say, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Ekala Ishwara Krishna or Sabritya. There's only one Ishwara, and all others are his servants. Of course, we think, oh, I don't want to be the servant. Oh, no, I don't want to be servant. Why I should be servant? I want to be the master. Why Krishna's always the master? We don't know how fortunate it is to be the servant. We've forgotten. When we understand how fortunate it is to be the servant of Krishna, then we will take advantage of devotional service. You can see Hanuman. Hanuman, he's happy to be the servant. He doesn't want anything else. He just wants to be the servant. He's fixed in devotional service. He just wants to serve Sita and Rama. That's a nice situation. Material life, everybody tries to enjoy. Just in Ramayana, you have Ravana. He wanted Sita. And Surpanaka, she wanted Rama. Right? So neither of them got success. But Vibhishan, he wanted Sita and Rama. See the difference? If we have to understand, we cannot separate the Lord from his potencies. So material life. People are all like Ravana. They want to enjoy Sita. Mother Sita is Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. The same with material world. People are all thinking, I want money, I want to enjoy. I want money, I will enjoy. They're thinking this is a pleasure. They're trying to take Sita away from Ram. You cannot enjoy in that way. And other people, some people, they want Lord Ram. They don't want Sita. They want to take God without his potency. So this is also a problem. So we try to bring people back to their original consciousness, bring them into Krishna consciousness. Just like you get a bump on the head. Have you ever had a bad bump on the head? You lose your memory. I met one boy, he told me 3 times he'd had lost his memory every time. Yeah, somehow he had a karma bump his head. So you get the bump on the head, how do you get your memory back? What do you do? What happens? How do they get the memory back? They bring it, you have to be introduced to everyone. And the doctor will ask you, do you know who you are? No, I don't know who I am, Do you know what happened? No, I don't remember what happened. What happened? How did I get here? You don't remember anything. So how do you get your memory back? They have to introduce you to everyone. This is your wife. This is your husband. Oh, God. Right? You have to be introduced to everything. This is your family. This is your home. Oh, my God. Right? Then you get the memory back, and you think it would be better without the memory, right? Anyway, we try to get our memory, our original memory of our spiritual life. We want that back. We want to remember our spiritual existence, how we have an eternal relationship with Lord Krishna. And we have to get that back. We all have a Siddha Swarup. We have an eternal rasa with Lord Krishna in the spiritual world. But we have forgotten. We don't know. We identify with the body, with the world we're born in, the situation we're in. But our real situation is with Krishna in the spiritual world. How do we get it back? We have to come to temple. We have to see the deities. This is the Lord. We are his servant. We have to engage in his service. And we engage in service. And by engaging in service to the Lord, gradually we start to remember our eternal situation. And one day we will come to remember who we actually are in the spiritual world. Just like yesterday, it was the marriage of Tulsi with the Shaligram. Tulsi's marriage to Shaligram was celebrated on the Purnima day yesterday. So it's described how Sudama, Krishna's cowherd boyfriend in Vrindavan, he got cursed to come to the material world. And he came to the material world, became Sankachuta. But although he'd come to the material world, he was Jati Smaran. He remembered his past life. And he remembered how in his past life he had been with Krishna and he'd come to this world. Just like Nala, Kuver and Manigriva, they also had that blessing that they could remember who they were. We don't. We forget, right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, many, many births both you and I have had, Arjuna. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. So sometimes people ask, why don't we remember? We don't remember because it takes away the enjoyment that we have here in this life. If you have to remember how in the past life you were a dog, or you were a pig, or you were a tree, we won't be able to enjoy this life very well. So the fact that we forget it's to facilitate the conditioning in this material world. But we have to get back the memory, our original nature, not just only the past life, but we want the memory of our eternal existence in the kingdom of God, that we have an eternal relationship. So Sudama was a cowboy with Krishna, and he got cursed to come to the material world. And he became Sankachuta, and he was a powerful demon. He was born in the family of the Danavas, a powerful demon. And he conquered the demigods. He became very powerful. And he was enjoying the material world. He was having a loving relationship with Tulsi. But, you know, nature of the material existence is temporary. You don't enjoy these things forever. And Sudama also, as Sankachuta, he also eventually was defeated and he was killed. His powers were taken away from him, right? He was given a locket to wear around his neck, which would protect him. He would always be victorious. But he lost that. A Brahmana, Lord Narayan came in the form of a Brahmana and begged charity from him and took that away from him. And he had also power that he could never die so long as his wife would be chaste to him. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. As long as his wife would be chaste, he could never die. And so Lord Narayan tricked him. Lord Narayan took the form of Shankachuta and went there and had a relationship with his wife. And that's when Tulsi cursed Narayan. Because after she'd had a relationship with Lord Narayan, she realized, this is not my husband. This is some other man. He's cheated me. And she asked, who are you? Who are you? And then he took his original form as Lord Narayan. And she saw, you're Narayan. And she said to him, you have a heart of stone. You broke my chastity. So she said, you're a stone-hearted person. So she cursed him to become stone. So Lord Narayan comes in the form of Shaligram. You see? This is how Shaligrams are. And the Shaligrams, where do you find them? You find them in the Gandaki River. And the Gandaki is actually the form which was taken by, who was it? You know the story? Gandaki, the river, who was it? Became the Gandaki River? I'm forgetting. My computer. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, some great... Huh? Vrinda. Tulsi. Tulsi became Gandaki. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Tulsi, he was having a relationship, like Shankachuta was having a relationship with Tulsi. And so Tulsi, when Shankachuta died, Lord Narayan, he tricked her, he took away her chastity. And so she said to Lord Narayan, you're a stone-hearted person. So he got the curse to become Shaligrams. And Tulsi, she took the form of the Gandaki, the river, which flows in Nepal and up in the Himalayas. And the Shaligram Shilas are found there. And this is where Bharat Maharaj was living. And this is where he got attached to the deer up there. Anyway, Tulsi became the Gandaki, and her hair became Tulsi. Her hair took the form of plants. Narada Muni wanted to understand, Tulsi was such a great devotee, how could she become a plant? Yeah. And so they told this, it was explained to him how Tulsi, after she died, she took the form of the Gandaki river and her hair became the Tulsi tree. And this way, the Tulsi, however, is given all greatest respect. That every offering made, there must be tulsi leaves there. No offering is complete without tulsi. And tulsi is given so much honor and respect in every sacrifice. So Sudama, he got killed. He was in the body of this Sankachuda. And when he got killed, his body took the form of conch shells. So the conch shell, which we have, they're all expansions of Shankachuda's body. And the conch shell is very auspicious for the worship. It said that even the water which is in the conch shell is considered to be water from all the holy rivers. So we can understand something about previous lives and how this body is so temporary. Everything which we have in this life is temporary, has a beginning and an end. We shouldn't be attached to these things. The attachment to the material energy is the cause of the greatest entanglement. Right? Lord Kapila told his mother Devahuti that you have to become attached to the sadhus, become attached to the devotees. That will liberate you from the material existence. But the attachment for the material, that's just the cause of pain and suffering. In the 11th canto, Lord Krishna is instructing Uddhava. And he tells the story about how Maharaj Yadu met this one Brahmana who was an avadut. This Brahmana was totally detached from the material world. And Yadu Maharaj wanted to understand, how could you be so detached? How did you become so detached? So the Brahmana described about how attachment for the material is the cause of so much pain and suffering. And the Brahmana went on to give an example. He told a story about two pigeons. Two pigeons, you know, they were like husband and wife, and they were very happy together. And finally the female pigeon, she laid eggs, and then they had young chicks, and the two pigeons were kept very busy every day bringing food to feed the young chicks. The young chicks, they were trying to fly, but they were not yet ready to fly. The wings hadn't become very strong yet. So the mother and father pigeon were very busy every day bringing food for the birds to eat. And then one day a hunter came to the forest. And while the mother and father were up to get food, the hunter came and he saw these little pigeons who were trying to fly. So he put his net and he captured them. And then the mother pigeon came back and she saw her chickens were all caught in the net. And she became frantic. And then the hunter caught the female pigeon. And then the male pigeon came back and he saw his wife and all his chicks. They were all in the net of the hunter. And he thought, oh no, my life is useless now. I have no more purpose in life. And when he was thinking like that, the hunter caught him also. And in this way, the pigeons all lost their life. And the cruel hunter went home with all the pigeons. So this is the nature of material existence. Intelligent people, when they see these things, they will learn to be careful not to get attached to the material world, not to become too entangled in material existence, because they should know it's just simply the cause of suffering and bondage. And that bondage, very difficult to get free. You get caught in the material world, you get caught in the net of the material energy. It's very difficult to get out. Devihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Very difficult to get free. But if we surrender to Krishna, we have to take shelter of Krishna. So surrender to Krishna means taking up some devotional service, doing service, engaging our senses. Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Use our senses for the service of Krishna. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer and give away, do it as an offering for Krishna. Keep ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Right? This is the secret. We have to stay alive in Krishna consciousness. Right? So you have stayed alive. You're here in the morning program. You've stayed alive. Right? It's stated, there's that verse in the Bhagavatam, Tateno kampam sushamikṣamana punjana evatma kritam vipakam rigvagvapuvir vivadan namaste chiveta yom mukti pade sadayabak. Sadayabak means it becomes your rightful claim, right? Your father is a rich man. What do you have to do to inherit his money? You just have to stay alive. Yes. You just have to stay alive. And then, in course of time, your father will leave the body and the money will all become yours. So this example is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Stay alive in Krishna consciousness. And it becomes your rightful claim to go back to Godhead. Krishna will deliver you. You don't have to do any. You just have to stay alive in Krishna consciousness. We hold on to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and stay alive. Keep chanting, keep serving, and then Krishna consciousness will awaken more and more. One day we'll all go back to Godhead and we'll be with Krishna together in the spiritual world. Free from all the entanglement of the material energy. No more troubles, no more anxiety, right? This world is a place of anxiety, but Vaikuntha means no anxiety. So we want that situation. We all like to be free of anxiety. Material life, there's so much anxiety, so many struggles and troubles. Of course, Queen Kunti said, oh, these troubles, vipada shantatasvad tatra tatra jagat garo bhavato darshanam yachat apunar bhava darshanat. Vipada means calamities. Queen Kunti said, let these calamities happen again and again. Because by calamity, I will think of Krishna more and more. And thinking of Krishna means, again, we will never see birth and death. So this is the secret to Krishna consciousness, to stay alive in Krishna consciousness. Praying to Krishna. Let all these calamities happen again. Give me calamity. We don't have to pray, of course, for calamity. They come anyway. They'll come anyway, calamities, naturally. It's the nature of material life. Of course, calamity, what is calamity? We're thinking, oh, one person thinks a calamity, another person thinks, oh, no big deal, they don't worry about it. It's all the condition of the mind. How attached are we? How bewildered are we by the material energy? So people there's so much in material life that they want. Why don't I like chanting Hare Krishna? Why don't I get a taste for Krishna consciousness? They will ask. I say, because you have jaundice, right? You have jaundice of material life. Just like Rupa Goswami gives the example about the sugar cane. You drink the sugar cane and it tastes bitter if you have jaundice. If you go to India in the summer and it's so hot, and especially Vrindavan and Delhi will be like 50 degrees, very hot. So I was in India in the 1970s. It was really struggle. It was really primitive. Now India's developed a lot. The conditions are much easier, but 50 years ago it was really difficult. And there was no boiled water, there was no bottles of pure water or anything. You know, you just had to boil the water yourself. So somehow I must have eaten something or I drank something. Anyway, I got jaundice and I didn't know how to cure it. And so somebody told me, drink sugar cane. And I thought, that sounds a nice cure, right? Yeah, I like that. So, but when I tasted the sugar cane, wow, it tasted so bitter. And they said, yes, because you have jaundice. You cannot taste the sweetness. Your liver is not healthy, and you cannot taste the sweetness of the sugar. You have to keep drinking it. I thought, not very nice. But anyway, you keep drinking. The same way, we don't have a taste for chanting, you don't have a taste for hearing, but keep chanting, keep hearing. Right? Prabhupada told about how his spiritual master had recognized him. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, oh yes, I've recognized him. He does not go away. Right? When Prabhupada came for initiation, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, oh yes, I have noted him. He does not go away. He likes to hear. So that is a good qualification for spiritual advancement. Just be determined to hear, to keep hearing. Even though we don't have the taste for chanting, we have to keep chanting and keep doing it. And gradually, the stone will rub away. Our stone-like hearts will be, they can also gradually produce the nectar of Krishna Prema. It takes time. It's going to take time to become Krishna conscious. It doesn't happen easily. We have to be patient. We have to endeavor, right? Utsahan nischaya dharyat. Enthusiasm, patience, determination. Prabhupada said, in every endeavor, these things are required. Whatever you're going to do, you have to have patience, determination, and enthusiasm. Utsahan, the first one, enthusiasm. Prabhupada appreciated devotees that they had a lot of enthusiasm. Whatever Prabhupada said, they would do it with enthusiasm. Go to Pakistan, go to Africa, you know, and the devotees would go off and do it. So they had that enthusiasm to do things for Prabhupada. We didn't have so much determination, patience, but the enthusiasm was more prominent. That's important. So keep up that enthusiasm, and gradually Krishna takes over. Krishna's there, Krishna's helping. He wants to see how determined we are, how steadfast we are, how serious we are to do something for him. So you can see Krishna consciousness develop gradually, more and more devotees. And we hope more and more happier devotees. Right? But devotees, we were always seen as the happy Krishnas, you know, because we were always chanting and dancing. And material life, people also like to chant and dance, but they don't do it. They're not happy. They're miserable. They're suffering. We tell them, chant. Somehow they can't do it. They're entangled in their material life. And so we should appreciate our good fortune that we have given this one life for the service of Krishna. Prabhupada said to us, he said, you've already wasted so many lives in sense gratification. You've passed so many lifetimes trying to enjoy the material world. Just give this one life to Krishna and make your life successful. It will not be wasted. So in this way we understand Srila Prabhupada's teaching. Any question? Any comment? Problem?
Maybe you can just give some tips for how to keep up the enthusiasm. What's your experience?
Yeah, how to keep up the enthusiasm. The main thing is just being convinced yourself that you have to be enthusiastic. Just do it, with enthusiasm, even though maybe the mind is not feeling enthusiastic, but actually the soul is very eager. We listen to the mind, that's the problem. We have to conquer the mind, rise above the mind. The mind can be the friend, the mind can be the enemy. For one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. And for one who has failed to do so, his very mind is the greatest enemy. So why are we not enthusiastic? Simply the mind is saying, oh no, oh not again. The mind, we listen to the mind and then so many problems will come. So we have to understand this is my mind speaking. And how to conquer the mind? By spiritual strength. By spiritual strength, stand and fight, you can conquer the mind. How do we get that spiritual strength? By our sadhana, by our regular program, taking seriously the practice of Krishna consciousness. Getting up in the morning, coming to Mangal Arti, coming to the program, chanting. That's our sadhana. That gives us the strength to conquer the mind. And when we conquer the mind, the nature of the soul is very eager for service to Krishna. When we come on the spiritual platform, we will have that enthusiasm. So that is the spiritual platform, that you're enthusiastic, you're eager to do service for Krishna. So this is how we can come to the spiritual platform, conquering the mind. Right? And then Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains this. Arjuna was saying, why do I engage in sinful activities, even unwilling, as if by force? And Lord Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Raja guna samudbhava. It is lust only, O Arjuna, born of contact of the material senses. It's all-devouring sinful enemy. So don't give in to the enemy. Krishna is identifying our enemy for us. The enemy, we have to conquer that enemy. Lust, where is it found? Where is the lust? Where do you find it? Krishna says, yes, in the mind. Where else? Intelligence. Yes, in the intelligence. Where else? Senses, yes. Senses, mind, and intelligence. The lust is there. Right? So we have to conquer over the enemy, conquer the enemy. Krishna is helping us, he's giving us the direction. And he tells us how to do it also, by spiritual strength. Stand and fight. Don't give it in. Don't surrender to Maya, surrender to Krishna. All right? We're given that free will. That is our independence. Krishna or Maya. Every moment we're given that choice. So we should think no to Maya, yes to Krishna. So if we keep up that enthusiasm, then Krishna will take care. Krishna says, Kunti apriti janihi name bhakta pran. My devotee will never perish. We have to. Do you have faith in Krishna? You have to have that faith. That's very important. And the faith is the first thing to come to bring us to the association of devotees and Krishna consciousness. And we have to strengthen that faith as we go on. As we go on in Krishna consciousness, our faith should become more and more strong, more and more fixed. Sometimes you get devoted, oh, I wasted my time, I became a Hare Krishna. No, you didn't waste your time. It was the best thing you did with your life. Whatever time you spend in Krishna consciousness, it's the greatest benefit. You go in the material world, what do you gain? What do you get out of the material life? It's simply chewing the chewed, trying to find pleasure where there is no more pleasure. So we have to be convinced. We have to hear. And the way to convince yourself is to share this knowledge with others. If you start telling other people, preaching, you start talking to other people and telling them like that, then you become more convinced yourself. So last night we had a nice program here. We saw so many devotees came. So many people came for the end of Kartik. Now is the Katyayana Vrat, right? After Kartik comes the Katyayana Vrat. The young girls, they will all go and bathe in the Yamuna early in the morning to get Krishna for a husband. They all want to marry Krishna. Okay, any other, yes?
Maharaj, I was thinking about this pastime with Jalandhar and that how Lord Vishnu actually, changes into her husband and then tricks her. So I was just thinking that, although this kind of relationship is extremely sinful, I mean, in a sense that she had a relationship with another man apart from her husband, and then, of course, Krishna is not bound by any rules and whatever he does is always for the higher purpose and benefit for everyone. But then still, if we see from that perspective, like, he broke the rule in one sense. I mean, he didn't break the rule, but, if you see that picture. And then also I was reading, Krishna book, and I came to this chapter, Aniruddha and Usha, I think. And then even though he was the grandson of Krishna, but he still had this illicit relationship with Usha. And then I was also thinking that although he comes from the family of Krishna and such kind of rules and regulations, even they, kind of breaking. So I was just a bit confused. How is this?
Well, you're applying your material conditioning to Krishna's pastimes. Aniruddha and Usha, well, okay, he went there, he was brought there to Usha, and they had a relationship, but he took her as his wife. He didn't just enjoy her and leave her. He took her away with him as his wife. He did it. So, that's what they call Gandharva marriage. They have the relationship. That's how their marriage takes place. So he accepted her as his wife. So there was no sin there. And you say, because Narayan took the form of Sankachuda and it had a relationship with Tulsi, so this was bad. But Lord Narayan says, actually, he said, you will be my wife in the spiritual world. We're meant to be wife. You're meant to be my con. Tulsi and Shaligram. That's why they had the marriage yesterday. He married her. But what happens in the material world, a young man and a young woman come together and they enjoy together for some time and then they separate. It's not quite the same. They don't have the sense of responsibility. And then one man came to Prabhupada. He was a professor. It was in the USA. He was a professor of Asian studies, and he said, how can you worship a God who's an adulterer? Right? Adulterer. It means people have more than one wife. And Prabhupada said to him, are you married? He said, yes, I'm married. One wife. He said, you are the adulterer. All women belong to Krishna. So Prabhupada told the professor like that. So women are Krishna's property. Tulsi, that he's the only one who has the right to enjoy her. Nobody else. So that Shankachura was married to Tulsi in the material world. But Lord Narayan told Tulsi, he said, actually you're from the spiritual world. You're meant to be my consort. And so we're thinking in terms of material world. And we're thinking in terms of our own conditioning. But we have to understand everything is the property of the Lord. So all women are meant for his pleasure. And Aniruddha is Lord Krishna's expansion. And he enjoyed Usha and took her as his wife. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. It's the only thing they grow in the Middle East. In the desert, it's all you can grow.
Krishna, Chaitanya, Papo Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda